You should not say that, hey, I am the only person and then, that you can hire. No, not like that. I remember one student telling that I wanted to see the smile, the face of my father. They have seen the world. They know what you're talking about. You should have your spontaneity there. You should not appear like when they ask you a question, a kind of mugged up introduction that you have done in the past, that you're giving them that aspect. Hi. Every interview is a fresh interview, which means like when you're going for interview, you are asked altogether fresh questions. The boards are new and you are new. So you can't really look for common questions. But still, after spending about 3 decades plus in the area, I have been seeing a lot of students are getting some repeated questions. And we call them as repeated questions or common questions. I think today, and in this video, I'd like to explain to you about a couple of common questions that are being asked and how to handle them. In fact, one thing is very, very certain, that you have to be very honest when you answer something there. You can't imagine that I can speak something and get away with it and then can't really find out. No. Honesty is very, very important, even if it is the most basic questions. Like, for example, that if they ask you, why do you want to become an IAS officer? I mean, that's a common question. I'm sure you must have seen that a lot of mock interviews also people ask similar questions. That's the point, when they're trying to really get to see inside you. What is there, what is there in the background? It's already written, codified in front of them. Then they can possibly see all those facets there, all those components they can easily see. But then if there is something which lies behind you, is your personality, and they want to actually make an interview, like a view inside, and then for that they can ask you some questions like this common question that I am talking about, that why do you want to become an IAS officer? There you cannot really tell something that some story or fanciful thing that I will bring about change in the entire country, I'll do this, I'll do that. No, you have to be humble, polite, honest to the core, and that's something which is what I would like to tell you. In that case, I normally advise people that you should not go too much into your past reading, in the sense like talking about like my name is this, my mother's name is this, my father's name is this, my parental address is this, my current address is this, my email is this. Don't spend too much of time into that. They're not mighty interested in that. That's already written in front of them. They already have those data. So you have to give a brief, extremely brief part of it. Let's say 20-25% of that. Majority of it has to be something which is where you are looking forward, because whatever you have had in the past, that's already frozen, that's already there in front of them. And when they are hiring you, they want to see that how you are actually looking forward to the future. So certain traits that you should be thinking about is that you can possibly tell them about the reason why it really has motivated you to get there. And be honest. I remember one student telling that I wanted to see the smile, the face of my father. That boy was ranked 3 in the country, and that person could look into their eyes and say that, yes, I want to become an IAS just because I want to see a smile on the face of my father. If you got something like that, as honest and as straight, coming out from your heart straight, I think I like you to use that, and that is going to be more powerful than a far flying and then something which is like outlandish. You can't forget one thing. When you become an IAS officer, or when you become an IPS, IRS, IFS officer, you are one of those so many hundreds of them which are already operating in the country, and probably you will be the most junior of them. So you should not lose your perspective. You should not give an image that, hey, I'm coming as a Messiah, I'll do salvation and all those things. No, I think you have to give that what you are there for. You understand the perspective in which that you are there. You could possibly, I remember one student, his first option was IFS. And that time I remember Sarfrosh movie had come. He honestly said that, sir, I am so inspired by the movie that I wanted to become an IPS officer. He is already an IPS officer. I don't want to name him. He's a senior IPS officer now. But then that person was very clear in saying that, yes, the movie has impacted me, and they really appreciated. He got a rank, I think somewhere around 20, 25. He could have got IAS very easily. but then that person said that I want to become an IPS officer because I've seen that movie. I mean, that's something. Honesty is very, very important. You can have your childhood experience or something of that nature, anything which comes from your heart. And that is something which is where you are not losing a sense of perspective, is the right answer that you have got. Another very common question that they ask you, that why should we hire you? Again, I mean, a lot of time people think that, hey, this is like a license to kill. I can say anything that I wish. No, I would like you to be seeing that this is one occasion where I expect that you are a little restraintful. I mean, you are one person who's not losing out on humility. You should not say that, hey, I am the only person and then, that you can hire. No, not like that. You can identify your qualities, genuine qualities which matches with your DAF also. Your life skills that you have got, your leadership qualities that you have got, your ethical values that you subscribe to, your positive outlook that you have towards the life, and above all, the zest to learn and understand the society, capacity to work for the system, those kind of things, which you could possibly say. But again, I'm reminding you, you are not losing out on your sense of perspective. You should remember from where you are speaking. When you become an IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS officer, what kind of perspective that you are coming with. So that is something which I would like you to keep in mind. My bottom line for this entire common set of question is honesty. And this is what I always tell you all to maintain during the interview and in life per se. And that is definitely appreciated, especially by the people who are very experienced sitting there taking an interview. They have seen the world. They know what you're talking about. And then if you are honestly talking about without losing your sense of perspective, I suppose you would be definitely rewarded with a score that you would be very, very proud of. I think I would also like you to advise one more thing, that you should have your spontaneity there. You should not appear like when they ask you a question, a kind of mugged up introduction that you have done in the past, that you're giving them that aspect. I don't want you to do that. Have some spontaneity and then let them feel that you're speaking for the first time. And that's what where we have this entire game is like you may be speaking about 20th time, that you've already 20 times practiced, but then when you're speaking for 21st time, it looks like you're speaking for the first time. So that's the one thing which I like you to be careful about. And it should not be very drab and long answer also, because these questions, they should gel with the remaining questions that you have got, where spontaneity is more desired. So if you give one question like this, very elaborate and then very well rehearsed and practiced, and while you have other questions are not balanced, the interview looks very, very I would say lopsided. I don't want that to happen. I want you to have this also given in terms of time and attention and expression in the similar manner that you are getting some questions which are also spontaneous. So this is how I would like you to deal with the questions which we were prepared and then they have been asked, and how you'd go about that. I hope it helps you. All the best.